Well, it's interesting. When I first kind of fell in love with New Zealand, I didn't really appreciate the indigenous culture there, the Maori culture, but it embedded itself somehow because I found when I was writing Avatar, I went to New Zealand the first time in '94. When I was writing Avatar in '95, the first treatment that later became the screenplay, I wound up putting in a lot of sort of Polynesian sounds into the naming structures of family names and place names and things like that, and I was obviously subconsciously influenced, I think, by Maori culture. And then as I went back to New Zealand to make Avatar the movie, when I went back there 10 years later, essentially, I started to learn more about Maori culture, and there were a number of Maori actors and stunt people that worked on the film, and so I kind of learned more about them. As a people and their culture, and so now it's become a kind of closed feedback loop where I allow Maori culture without hopefully going across the line to cultural appropriation, but I allow it to subconsciously invade some of my thinking as I'm writing the Avatar sequels. I mean, I don't think you just go in and you grab from different cultures as a writer. I think you have to be respectful. But for example, I'd like to include a haka in one of the Avatar films, and before I do that, I'll go to the iwi in the Wellington area where we'd be shooting and asked for their permission and support to do that. I have already done that in the past. We were going to include a haka in the first Avatar, but it wound up getting cut out for length. We even did the performance capture on it. But I find that all very fascinating, and the Avatar films are a celebration of indigenous culture, not just Maori, obviously, but cultures in South and Central America, Africa, the Plains Indians, the Native Americans, First Nations people in Canada. It's all kind of rolled in. You try to find common themes that will resonate with indigenous societies everywhere. That's kind of what Avatar is. By putting it on another planet, you kind of make it not anybody but everybody, which is something that fantasy and science fiction can do.